Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And also, too, talking about college graduation rates and helping students empower them to make sure that they graduate college. We are here with Scott Campbell, Executive Director, and Melissa Watkins, who's a Persist Coach, both with Persist Nashville. How are you two doing?
Doing well.
Doing great. Thanks for having us, Jeremy.
Absolutely. So Scott, I'm going to throw this to you. Let's start out. Give us a little bit of history for Persist Nashville.
Sure. So we started in 2019. So working with our third cohort of students, we saw a big problem that existed in Nashville, which was at the time only 24% of students who graduate from our high schools are earning a post-secondary degree. That's 2-year, 4-year, or technical degree. So we're about half the national average. And in the city is kind of affluent and as talented as Nashville is just really unacceptable. So we saw a big problem and we said, we think we have an idea, a solution to be able to handle it. So we coach students. So we send them texts and we check in on them regularly. We develop student leads on college campuses to check in on their peers, host events, and build community. And then we also connect our students with professional mentors and kind of care through them with a financial emergency fund. That's kind of our general solution. And we started with about 400 students in year one, and we're up to about 1,700 students, all graduates of Metro Nashville Public Schools. So we're super thankful for these past couple of years and the growth that we've seen and the opportunity we're having to serve our city.
Absolutely. And I love the 3 C's. So coaching, community, care, when you look at combining those, for a lot of the students who are first generation college students, not having that support network and knowing where to turn for advice, guidance, when they're intimidated on a college campus, like there's so many things that you just take for granted, but not having that resource, that support network is a huge piece to me of the equation of being able to make sure that they feel confident and are able to carry that forward and graduate college. To me, that's part of the secret sauce, but give us, some of the secret sauce on your end from your vantage point.
Yeah, as a coach, personally, I've been working with students for about 15 years, and working with first generation students is a very selected demographic, because a lot of students don't know their first generation. They feel like, my aunt went to college or someone went to college, but it's the person in your unit that you live in. Have all those people in that unit graduated from college? And if the answer is no, there's going to be a gap in trust of talking to your parents about what you're going through, talking to your siblings about what you're going through. So having someone that persists, and several of our coaches are first generation coaches. So we know that feeling of going on campus and feeling like I can handle all this on my own. But when we're asking specific questions, we really work hard as a team to really craft questions that pull that information out of the student. Instead of saying, how are you doing this week? It's like, what challenges are you facing this week? Or, what's stressing you out this week? Or, even simple things like, did you set a GPA? Because those are things that your parents, even if your parents graduated, they may not think to ask that question. Also reminding students that college is not high school. That is like a big deal with students, is like, oh, it's not the same. If I miss an assignment, it's like, it's done. So giving them those little keys to be like, look at your syllabus, print things out. Yes, everything's digital nowadays, but if you don't understand that chapter, print it out, highlight it so that you are starting to get that overall understanding. And so having your own student roster, making sure you're answering their questions effectively, and even reminding them of things that they may be missing out on is some of our secret sauce. And then also, like a first generation student, they may not be involved in things on campus. They may be working, so helping them to remember, build your community, build a community on that campus so you feel like you're a part of it and you won't be so, susceptible to quitting or feeling alone.
Yeah. And I think each of those kind of 3 C's kind of really fit together in different ways. Every student is not going to necessarily engage with the program in all the exact same way, but each of them is going to kind of fill a specific role. So when it comes to coaching, right, we're coaching about 83% students of color, about 40 to 50% of our students are first generation college students, which we refer to. And really for us, it's about identifying who are our risk students, right? Having good data management and knowing, okay, which students we need to spend a little bit more time, how can we best support them? So like understanding and knowing our students, and then being able to spend more time with the students who need that support like Melissa talked about the most. And then the kind of the community piece of this is so important. I think particularly for students of color, if they're at a PWI institution, which is a predominantly white institution, they may be a student of color. A lot of their peers around them at these colleges and universities just came from very different experiences and backgrounds. So knowing that they have other students from Nashville that they can connect with and just kind of have that place that they come back to each week, spend some time with, and they're being checked in on by their peers, another kind of near peer leader, I think is such a really valuable thing for some of our students. And then finally, when it gets to that idea of care, right, it's about connecting with people in the community. I think for a lot of our students, they say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a nurse, but they may not actually know a lot of doctors, lawyers, and nurses, right? So they have a very small professional network, particularly if they're a first generation college student. They don't have a lot of family members who have had these professional positions before. So having that opportunity in their first couple of years to connect with somebody who is doing what they think that they want to do, and for better or worse, whether they decide, oh, actually, this is not what I want to do, or they really, start to cement that and get connected with someone who could build those connections for them. Our students are going to engage in different ways with each of those kind of categories of our work. And I'd say the secret sauce is that, we take really great ideas from other college persistence organizations and nonprofits around the country, and they're just finding a way to be able to put that together in kind of a scalable and cost-conscious way, so that we can serve every student who graduates from our high schools, regardless of where they go to college.
Elaborate further on the career side, because that's been a really important focus on your end, and going into internships and obviously the job shadowing, and is this the path you want to go down? So talk more about that career side.
Yeah, so I think I'll start with this idea that I think for a lot of companies, they have internship programs, and that's great. And those internship programs are usually focused on students who are juniors or seniors in college, who are about to graduate or are going into their senior year. And a lot of these internships require that you have previous internship experience, which for many of our students who are first generation, who are working part or full time, they cannot do unpaid internships in their first couple of years. And they're not even really aware of what those opportunities are. So we learned kind of early, both to help students kind of understand why they're in school and start to connect and build their professional network, but also open up those doors to those future, more competitive paid internships where they're competing against kids from all over the country who want to come to Nashville and do an internship for a company. We think it's really important to give students those experience very early. So we do that in kind of 3 different ways. I'll let Melissa talk about that because she's kind of running our Persist Career program now.
So we have mentorship, we have mentorship and coaching. We have our fellowship program that we're starting up. And we just want to make, like he said, wanting to make sure the students understand why they're going to college. A lot of students, I think all of us have the job that we had in college, which is like, flipping burgers or working at UPS. I worked at the hotel. Did that have anything to do with my major, which was English education? No, it was just like a way for me to make money. And so we know now, even in this generation, we want our students to make money while they're going to college, so they feel like they're investing in themselves and they feel like they have a purpose. So the first thing with mentorship is just talking to different professionals. What do you do? Why do you do it? And is this something I want to do? So we did a huge, like almost a speed dating for our students to talk to about 25 different people in the community and just hear about why they do what they do. And then from that point, we match them up. We're also working with just different industries in Nashville because we know healthcare is really big in Nashville. Tech is really big in Nashville, but let's talk about some of those other niche parts, and music, of course, but like what else can we stick a student into and let them walk through it a day in the life of, a week in the life of, and just having them to say, okay, I had that experience. Maybe, after I take my general ed courses, I want to, really specify what I want to do. It's not health, it's not nursing, it's healthcare administration or something of that nature. So really, like Scott tends to say, not allowing a student to close the door on an opportunity. Let that door be open, give yourself some time. Maybe that 1 week fellowship turns into a summer internship. And like we said, working with first gen students, working with students of color, sometimes they just don't have that network. Their parents or families don't have that circle of influence to say, oh, my friend works at whatever, you can go work at his office all summer long. So we're the friend that has the friends that in the offices. We're the ones that are going to connect you and give our students a bit of a higher level experience.
Go ahead and carry that forward into how the community can help, because already, obviously, you can kind of catch there's a lot of ways that the community can plug in and be really be an advocate in terms of raising awareness for what you're doing, obviously being a funder, but being a coach, and obviously too, opening up opportunities, career opportunities. So talk about the many different ways we can help.
Well, we'll just stick with this Persist Career. I think it's like an easy place to plug in. We have right now around 9 different businesses out of Nashville that are hosting fellows over the winter break. Those fellowships are a 2-week paid internship light experience for students in their first 2 years of college. Goal being, give those students some sort of meaningful experience over their winter break or their summer break, and then help build for yourself a pipeline of local diverse talent that hopefully will be part of your hiring pool as you get as they graduate and as you get a few years down the road of having worked with our students. Our students are the most amazing students. They're from our community. They love our community. They want to be here. They just don't always know about those opportunities. And so I think the fellowship is one way. So offering a fellowship is one, connecting with a student through what we call our mentor matchup. So just signing up, and you can do all these things on our website, which is just persistnashville.org /Persist Career. You can find out a little bit more about this, but you can sign up for that and we would connect you with a student 3 times in a semester, 3 different students. So you could do this in the spring, attend kind of one of our mentor matchup events, and then get connected with a few students that you can have lunch or coffee with or get to know. And then the final thing is just job shadowing. We want to give our students kind of trips and access to a number of different Nashville businesses so they can understand kind of the wide variety of jobs and careers and the types of degree and certificate programs that are required to get those types of jobs. So those are easy ways. And then as you kind of referred to, Jeremy, as well, right? We're a 501c3 nonprofit. So supporting the work that we're doing here to be able to have great folks like Melissa and our coaching team. We've had an awesome opportunity over this past year to work with 1,700 students. And we've had about 4 times growth. And we've only actually increased our cost by about 1.5 as we've been growing. So I think we're finding a really great way to both do this work, but do it in kind of a sustainable way and be good stewards of all the money that we are getting from a lot of folks like your listeners.
Yeah. And for each one of you, I'll kind of let you take this in different vantage points, but what do you want the community to know in terms of the ripple effect that's being created? When you look at the scalability, the number of students, what education attainment means to the community. To me, there's so many amazing kind of ripple effects, but what do you want the community to know in terms of the larger scope of what you're doing?
I think for me is keeping Nashville's students, helping them turn to Nashville citizens. We have a lot of people who would love to live in Nashville, but they feel like there's no opportunity for them. So allowing those students to find some pride in the city by going to school in the city, getting internships and opportunities in the city, and then when they graduate, becoming citizens who want to contribute to making Nashville great. So I feel like that's a really big ripple effect that you will have working with 1,700 students. I don't want you to leave. I want you to come back home and bring that education right back to the city and build out.
Yep. And I'll just put some numbers behind it, right? So first of all, I'll give you this big idea, which whether we like it or not, a college degree is still the gatekeeper to a stronger economic future, the ability to be able to impact yourself and your family and your community in the way, right? And so it's very easy to kind of use the term, well, not everyone needs to go to college. That's true, but you can't make the argument that only 1 out of every 4 of our students should be getting a degree who are from our city. And so the reality is that we have this big opportunity. And if we were to just, for one student, right? Getting a college degree means on average, you're going to earn over $900,000 during your lifetime. It means you're going to use less services by about $300,000 in local services and federal services over the course of your lifetime. It means that you're going to volunteer more. It means that you're going to have more leisure time to be able to spend volunteering as well as giving your money to other organizations. So if we really want to reform this our community and for it to reflect the diversity that exists right now, because gentrification is happening, right? We're seeing it all over the place. And I don't want our families and our students to kind of be priced out of Nashville, right? I actually want them to be reinvesting back in Nashville so that we can continue to be really the dynamic diverse community that we've been for so many years. So I actually think this is probably the most important thing. And honestly, cost per dollar, I think it's probably one of the safest investments we can make, is how do we help our students with this transition towards college? I firmly believe this with all my heart. Every student can get a college degree as long as, right, they are good at scheduling, they are willing to ask for help, and they know who to ask for help, and they have a compelling why, and we can really help support them in that. And so it's really just a great opportunity, I believe, to kind of reform our city long term, and we can see results quick.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is an opportunity to pour in and to have homegrown talent, homegrown leadership, homegrown opportunities. And like you said, these are the future leaders, not only on the business side, but in our community at large. And that carryover, that ripple effect, to me is tremendous, especially when you look at the context of everyone fighting for talent, right? And so this becomes a huge opportunity, a talent opportunity for the community at large. Wrap up with contact information. You mentioned the website, mention it again. Where do we go to learn more, to get involved with Persist Nashville?
Sure. Check out our website. It's persistnashville.org. You can find out about what we do, ways to get connected with our students, ways to give. You can reach out to us at partner@persistnashville.org if you just want to send an email, set up a time to chat. I'm happy to do that with any of you. And at any point in time, if you have a student who you think should be getting this service, who may not be, then please, I encourage them to come check out the website and sign up themselves. We want to serve every student who graduates from our high schools.
Well, Scott, Melissa, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.